Welcome back to Chicago Cars Direct. Today we're going to spend some time with an instant classic. The last year these were produced. This is a 2002 Chevrolet Camaro SS. Under the hood of the SS, you're going to find Chevrolet's familiar 5.7 liter LS1 engine. Now, in SS tune, this is actually rated at 325 horsepower. Obviously, a lot of power in a small block V8, but ton of low-end torque, really smooth. This is matched up to my favorite combination, which is the 6-speed transmission with the Hurst shifter. It's got upgraded exhaust from SLP, which does the SS conversion, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But very, very comfortable. 19,000 mile piece. I mean, this really could be a showpiece for the right person. One owner car, might add. And it comes with everything. But let's take a walk around it because I really don't have as much to call out in condition other than to show you what this car is all about. Just to walk around, I mean, take a very good look at the actual car, the panels, everything. There's not even stone chips for me to call out on the front here. You do have this SS shroud in the grille here. This is a part of the SS package from SLP. Again, SLP is the company that does take a stock Z28 and turn it into the SS model. This hood as well is the SS upgrade. You've got an intake here. It's actually a functional intake for the Ram air, as they call it. Ram air is ram forced induction, meaning it's really just taking the incoming air, bringing it right to the engine. But come around here, you've got the chrome, what they call the ZR1 style wheels. They are sitting on Eagle F1 GS tires. It's a 17-inch wheel. Up front here, you got 275 40 ZR17 in perfect condition. No curb rash, nothing to talk about there. All four wheels are perfect. Proper SS badging. Down the driver's side, not much else to talk about. Everything's factory new condition. And then to come around to the rear, you can see the quad outlet exhaust. You've got dual exhaust on both sides with 2 outlets. Proper Camaro SS badging. And this spoiler up here, this actually is distinctive for the SS as well. It's a little bit more of a raised lip on the spoiler there. Then walking around the passenger side, I mean, it's identically uniform all the way around. And this is a rare hardtop model, which makes this extraordinarily unique. In the rear of these, you have a generous cargo hold. Just pop this, got keyless entry to pop the rear hatch. Flip this forward. This actually is a privacy cover, so when the hatch is down, you don't see into the private cargo area. But there is everything with this car. I got the original books from when the car was new. I do have the original window sticker, which shows $28,890 was the MSRP on this car. And it also does have the SLP sheet, which shows all the individual SLP upgrade options. I've got the factory build sheet, which I don't think I've even seen one of those for this car. We got a piece of mail from the Camaro brand team managers. I don't know who they are. And the original 02 Chevy Camaro pamphlet there. But rear and front floor mats. These are just the regular stock ones. There is a second set of specific Camaro SS floor mats that are in virtually perfect condition. I don't know if these have actually ever been used. And then for whatever reason, a sky blue, I don't know. Whoever, if you want this car, you can have this. I don't know what you'll do with it, but you can have that. I think they left it out in the sun for an eternity. Just to give you an example of build quality, this car I don't think has ever been beaten on, because they usually won't slam that solid. And the passenger side follows suit as well. Inside the Z28, the interior is brand new. I don't have any wear or tear to point out. I mean, even the bolsters, because this isn't leather, it's going to wear perfectly. You do have the power seat on the driver's side. Easy step in. It's not a small car by any means, but tilt wheel, and just one of the coolest driving positions. I think this is actually one of my favorite cars, especially of my childhood. I always wanted a Z28. It's probably one of the only cars I've dreamt of that I've never really had, but just a really nice car. Nice layout. You've got automatic headlamps on the front. It won't let you drive at night without turning those on. All multifunction steering wheel here. It's one of my favorite parts, starting a V8. You feel that real light rumble just through the car. It feels like a little bit of torque burble just going right through the car. You feel right through the chassis. It's awesome. Pretty basic layout. Nothing that's all that substantial in here. The check gauges light is on there. That's because we're low on gas, which is great. But taking a look at the center stack here, you do have fog lights. They are on in here. 35th anniversary Camaro plaque here. That is commemorating the 02 model, which we are currently sitting in. In-dash CD, This is the Monsoon sound system, which is a phenomenal stereo. I want to say 12 speakers, but when you really have the windows down, you're flat on the highway, you can hear it loud and clear. Below that, air conditioning as you'd expect. But we do have the Hurst shifter here, which you can really manhandle. Not really sure if that's the word to use, but it is just a tough shifter, as anybody that's experienced a Hurst would know from the past. Just having that brute force under your foot, that's pretty awesome. But Dave and I decided to set out for a quick drive. It's a very easy car to drive. It's very civil. I mean, it's a comfortable driver. The visibility is great all the way around. You do sit low, but it's sports car low. It reminds you kind of what a Corvette would feel like. More like a C4 Corvette, I guess, in the way the layout is. But the SS comes with a less restrictive exhaust, a great Hurst shifter. You can see the intake scoop right on the hood from my vantage point. And this is a really, really fast car. This car will probably go close to 160 as a top speed, but is not a slouch on the autocross either. These cars tend to have somewhat of a lazy suspension, and they kind of wallow along the road. It doesn't take a whole lot to upset their balance. They're very stable at high speed, don't get me wrong, but around town they do feel a little weak in the knees. But that, again, is a characteristic of a true muscle car. That's how they were in the 60s and 70s. And, you know, this car's job is to replicate that feeling and that experience, and it does it very well. So a third gear roll out on the back roads. So that thing just downshift. It's awesome knowing you got a V8 this lively back here. And this is really a comfortable car. As far as a cruiser goes, I mean, you could easily do a road trip in this car. Multi-day road trip at that, and spend every day in the car. The 6-speed in here, you never feel like you're abusing it. You can rip these shifts off as hard as you want. And truth be told, in 6th gear, the overdrive gear is so large that you can actually achieve between like 28 and 30 miles per gallon with these cars on the highway, cruising at like an 80 mile an hour speed limit. Obviously, there's not really many places in this country that you can go that fast, so you know, that's a totally different story all in itself. Talk about the highway, though. I mean, you get an unbelievable amount of comfort and precise speed. I mean, here, 30 years, a lot of power. We're pulling through 40 miles an hour. This is a distinct American V8 small block sound. It's the reason you buy this car. And I actually got to say, with the rigid roof on here, it doesn't have the T-tops. It does feel a lot more solid. The car tracks, it just feels a little bit more in tune with whatever the driver's thinking. Because even though they do a good job with the car that does have T-tops, you still do lose some rigidity. And you know, when that car loses, this car still retains. So if you're a driver, this will definitely keep a stiff platform for a long time. That's what she said. Back in my CarMax days, when I used to take a demo from them, this was probably about the most exciting thing I was allowed to get my hands on. And anytime we had one, you knew my plate went on it. And I love these cars. I mean, I really do. They're absolute classics. I'm not going to say I don't like the new Camaro. I just think they're two totally different cars. This is unique in its shape, unique in its design, unique in the way it handles. And it's not overly refined. It still lets you know what it's doing. And in a car of this caliber, especially to be like a definitive muscle car, that's what you're going to want. Got a couple great pieces of information here. I've got the Carfax and AutoCheck vehicle history reports. As I said before, it's a one owner on both, but nothing else to note. Just a really well kept car. And it was not an urban car, which is actually good to note because that would likely explain the fact that you really don't have any stone chips over 19,000 miles of ownership. But I mean, this is immaculate. To get up close with it, go to our website. You'll find 60 pictures of this Camaro at chicagocarsdirect.com. And when you're done there, go visit our YouTube channel. You're going to find us at youtube.com/chicagocarsdirect. Thanks for having a great time with us today, and we'll see you next time.